Hello, I'm Dr. Randall Bell. Welcome back to Core IQ, where we talk about the stuff we all need to know in life and business, our families, that we're not necessarily taught in schools. And one of the key skills we got to talk about are work skills. And I'm here with Jill Pillsbury to talk about some just basic skills that I don't care where you are in the spectrum of business. You may be a top CEO, a billionaire, or you may be a brand new entrepreneur. These skills are good to remind ourselves of all the time.
Yeah, no matter what age. I mean, I'll take it down even lower than that. You may be a teenager waiting tables at a local restaurant.
Yeah.
Still important.
Any level. The first one is to be punctual. I mean, just showing up on time. I mean, frankly, you can get fired for showing up late. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, well, so the safe bet there is be 5 minutes early.
I'd rather show up an hour early than a minute late.
Yeah.
Be considerate of other people's time. And the next one is to dress for success. Know the dress culture or dress code for the business. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think know your audience. If you're going into work, that's not the place to maybe be super trendy, to err on the side of super casual or on the side of way too formal. So I think know your audience and dress appropriately. I generally feel like being conservative in the work environment is a safe bet and a smart thing to do. Yeah,
and if there's a question, it's better to overdress a little bit rather than underdress.
Definitely.
So the next one are to meet people and remember names and, kind of plug in with the team.
Yeah, I think, when you go into an environment like any group setting, you want to remember someone's name, smile, engage, just pretty basic stuff. But again, remembering someone's name and smiling will get you a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one is kind of fundamental, but people forget it. It's just to simply be friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, be someone people want to work with.
Yeah, I think this is just hugely important because there just isn't room in the day. No one wants to deal with someone bringing their own baggage into the workplace or their own drama or their own issues, right? And it's critical. And it's a fine line because we want to be friendly with our coworkers, but we know we're at work. We have a job to do. We need to be accountable. So you need to temper that, but it's okay to be friendly and ask a question or two about someone's personal weekend or time or interest, and then get yourself back to work.
Yeah. And what's cool about our business is there's a lot of employees here, and I hear about people getting together on the weekend and doing stuff. That's kind of cool. Building friendships, that's all kind of part of that.
Yeah.
So the next thing is to write it down. One thing that drives me nuts is we'll have a meeting or I'll ask someone to come in my office and they just kind of show up. I mean, you got to show up ready to write down and take notes. It's a fundamental business practice.
Yeah. This gives you an active way to engage and remember. It's a kind of an active learning by writing something down rather than just leaving it to memory.
Yeah, that's fundamental. And another fundamental is to speak up. We had a staff meeting just yesterday. We had people all around the boardroom table. And I noticed in some of the staff meetings, some people just never said a word. They never asked a question. They never spoke up. And I had to say something about that. Look, this is a time to ask questions, or if you have a good idea, speak up. But if you sit through an entire staff meeting and you don't say anything, something's wrong.
Yeah. And it can be hard. Some people are a little more introverted. They feel intimidated. Obviously, there's a happy medium. You don't want people talking just for the sake of hearing themselves talk, right? So that's an awareness thing. But I think if you tend to be on the shyer side and that's more difficult for you, one of the things that a professor said to me once is when you come into the classroom, if you speak in that environment and in that setting early on in the semester, you're much more likely to be comfortable speaking as the semester and the year rolls on. So that could be a little trick you could play with yourself. If you're not comfortable, just force yourself when you get into a meeting or an environment where you feel like you should be engaged a little bit more, force yourself to ask someone next to you a question or make a comment or say something early on in the meeting. And then you may have broken through some barriers. It might be a little easier.
I've never heard that. That's a good one. I'll remember that. Okay, and the last one is our calendars. I mean, businesses run on a schedule, and being aware of that calendar is essential. The calendar has to be impeccable.
Yeah.
In my view. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how people really function without some semblance of daily, weekly, monthly organization. And again, there's so many options out there, whether it's on your phone, whether it's a written calendar, and to be able to see and identify a day at a time, a week at a time, a month, 2, 3 months out can be really satisfying and really calming, so that you feel like you're organized. You can see what's going on today, and you can see something that's going on 3 months from now.
Yeah. Well, I think we've kind of covered it. I mean, Core IQ is about giving ourselves a competitive advantage in life and in business, and if just kind of brushing up on these skills gives us that. So great life skills, business skills. Thanks, Jill, for your
welcome.
comments. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode. Make sure you like, share it, and keep the conversation going. See ya.